What's up, friends, and welcome into Leading In right here on Fantasy Pros. I am the Welsh. That's Joe. We're here on a Wednesday talking about the latest and greatest around baseball, answering some of your questions, a little bit of betting, trying to smack some dingers, trying to hit some dingers in what is my final episode of the season until probably the last one in here. So surprise, final one. Joe Rico will be taking you home. We got Casey Bubba and we got some great guests we'll be talking about here in the near future. But Orrico, this is the last one with me, my friend. How are we?
It's the final countdown. Yep. Always makes me think of Arrested Development when I hear that song, but no, it's a sad day, my friend. I'm gonna try and join you guys for the last episode, so maybe this won't be our very last one, but it's been a great season between leading off and the Discord shows. Great year talking baseball with you, my friend.
And Callie caught me in. Oh, absolute record. I said leading off. I am on my game today, ladies and gentlemen. At least we could talk baseball and not try to do the crazy hosting duties. But welcome in to everybody that's hanging with us, watching live on Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros, where you can watch the show live. Back when we get into next year, it'll Monday through Friday. Right now, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, where you're going to be able to catch the boys, getting you through all of September. And then, of course, we're over on the YouTube as well, youtube.com/fantasypros MLB. Make sure you're subscribed all off season long because we're going to have a bunch of stuff there as well. And we've got the giveaways. Billy Wagner autographed jersey could be yours this month. There's only days left. And all you got to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel. Again, youtube.com/fantasypros MLB, and then comment on any video. You could comment on it if you're watching it, comment on this episode. Why would you not? And then you're potentially hooked up and you got your entry in. We'll be giving that away at the end of the month. So make sure you're dialed in. I think the first day of the month, though, is it's Labor Day. So there's probably not a show. So it'll be like the days after. So be on the lookout. Win that autographed jersey. Let's get into the stuff and things, Mr. Joe Rico. Let's waste no more time. At the tippy top of my sheet, just completely frozen. It's just completely frozen. Let's start with Jonah Tong here for a second. There's a good one as I attempt to try to get my sheet to be unfrozen here. Jonah Tong getting the call up right here. Better be leading off with Jonah Tong. So we're promising with Lee Gold. Pizza Pia liked him, whenever he does a little bit of his prospect work. There's some worry that there might be, some potential relief risk, but it just has not been the case for Jonah Tong this year. He's had like a 1.5 ERA, strikeouts like crazy. He's got some similarities to Tim Lincecum in the delivery that people get excited about, and he's being called up to go into the rotation. You've got Nolan McLean and now Jonah Tong both dropping in. I think there's enough to be excited about, and I think he might be potentially stream worthy. What do you think, Mr. Joe Rico, about Jonah Tong?
Yeah, just looking at the way it's lining up for him, he's going to get the Marlins, and then it looks like after that there's not another definitive start, but it looks like it may be Cincinnati. So regardless of who the matchups are, I'd be pretty interested in adding him. But considering it's two kind of softball landings for Jonah Tong, I'm all there. I'm usually kind of skeptical with guys when they first get called up, but everything is just fantastic with Jonah Tong. He gets a ton of whiffs, a ton of swinging strikes. Doesn't allow a ton of hard contact. It's only a 40% hard hit rate against them this year. Everything is great. Like if I was going to pick nits, I'd say I'd like them to walk a few less batters, but there's nothing here that would stop me from picking him up pretty much in all formats right now.
Am I all roboed out too? So I saw someone said Robo Welsh, and then your response was super late. So are things going even better on the last show?
You were a little bit robo-y, but you sound good now.
All right. Well, we got the show sheet back here. So Jonah Tong, I'm most likely going to be streaming him similar to Nolan McLean. So go and get your pickups in. I don't know how long. I think this is like a decent spot for them to keep him in the rotation for, potentially the final month. And I think his delivery too, that over north-south is really, really tough to get on. So I would go and stream and pick him up. And maybe he could be a replacement for Nathan Eovaldi, who is diagnosed with a right rotator cuff strain, and he's going to miss the season. Chris Young with the Rangers confirmed this. He had been having a phenomenal year, Eovaldi has, and it is done. And that's another brutal blow on the injury front here. And Tong might end up being a replacement. Any other replacements you look for? There's no, you should sit and maybe wait on Eovaldi. I think that's done. You just move on from that. Tong is a replacement. Any others that jump out to you for anybody in a playoff run that lost Eovaldi?
Right now, it's all about just picking streamers, like trying to forecast for the next few weeks is something that I don't really do as much this time of year. It's just about picking your matchups. Tomorrow, Jason Alexander gets the Colorado Rockies. He's been excellent pitching for Houston. I'd go pick him up right away. Braxton Ashcraft is also a pretty decent option if you're looking for streaming at St. Louis tomorrow. I think you just kind of got to play it by ear and just go week by week with streamers in that situation.
Kyle Bradish, too. I mean, we'll talk about him in a little bit. Kyle Bradish looked phenomenal. I was super dicey about that. I mean, I'll just jump into it. Bradish, 10 strikeouts, 2 runs, 6 innings against the Red Sox. I did not see that coming. And frankly, like, there's a little bit more than a handful of players that get that leash. Like if they come back, they could have missed 3 months. And if they come back in their first start, I'm not even like thinking twice about it. Bradish wasn't that guy, but he had almost 50% K percentage in that start, which looked phenomenal. His velo was down a tiny bit, but nothing really significant. Four seam sinker. Sinker was down a little bit. Four seam looked the same. I mean, it looked like he just jumped back into his stuff. His slider was actually down though significantly, but he was able to get the big strikeouts there. And Bradish would 100% be a guy that I would be looking to pick up right now. And I just feel bad for anybody that was like, "Hey, should we 2-start him?" I was like, I don't know, but I think he's now in the clear.
Yeah, it's understandable to be a little bit cautious coming off of a long layoff. The thing that kind of stuck out to me when I was looking at the pages was that his stuff was kind of down, not across the board, but his fastball and his sinker, the stuff ratings went from 87 to 77. His fastball graded out as a 77 stuff plus, sinker at 84. So I don't love that necessarily, but the results were right there. Another guy where I'm probably not just taking the reins off and saying I'm starting him in every single matchup. His next one is against San Diego, at San Diego. Don't know if I want to do that necessarily, but right after that, he gets Pittsburgh. So I think I'm kind of just picking and choosing my spots with him.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, also the Red Sox. I mean, he did his business, and Padres have been weird. But I get your point. Like, if you have some trepidation, but also with the injuries that are going out there, losing guys like Wheeler and losing Eovaldi, you might not have any of these great options. So that's why you would be turning to guys like Eovaldi or to Kyle Bradish, Jacob Misiorowski, somebody that you just probably been holding on to. A little bit of a rough stretch in there. 10 strikeouts, 5 innings, 3-run ball against the Diamondbacks last night. And looking here, pretty interesting stuff too. Fastball was just on them, absolutely on them. It was a 43% whiff rate, which absolutely beautiful. Throwing it in the zone. He was throwing his slider in the zone, which didn't get any whiffs, which I thought was interesting. But curveball. So, he was able to mix in that curveball enough and throw it for strikes. It was just under a 50% zone percentage that he had some high called strikes and whiffs. The fastball did its work. Command was kind of back, wasn't relegated to 3 innings. Like this is a comfort level. I feel pretty good about Misiorowski moving forward. You?
I do too. Yeah. I don't really have any problems unless they start to, give him the crochet treatment from last year and we start to see 3-4 inning outings. But at this point, even if he is giving you 4 innings, if you're getting 8 or 9 strikeouts every single time, I don't really care that much. It hurts you a little bit if you're like chasing wins, chasing quality starts, but even at the end of last year, Crochet was still valuable in the right situations. If you're in points leagues, like I've had people ask me if they should drop Misiorowski in shallow leagues. No, you're not dropping him. But if you're looking for wins and quality starts, you just might not get as many as you're hoping for.
This is funny, Fabby. Just wanted to point this out. Hurston Waldrop last night had such a weird line. And of course, no joke, my only bet I locked in yesterday was Waldrop over strikeouts. He didn't have one. 5 1/3, pitching to so much contact, yet he really didn't. There wasn't like demolished or anything like that. It was like 5 1/3. I think he had like a walk, no strikeouts. What was it, 1 or 2 earned runs? Super weird line last night. At least it still got it done. Just did not help in that in the betting market whatsoever, which kind of hurt. Lucas Giolito, strong outing, 8 innings, shutout ball against the Orioles, just continues to roll. Bayo has been good. Giolito has been good. And Giolito stuff, maybe it looks like it could tick back just a tiny bit as far as like some of the expected numbers, but Giolito's another trustworthy guy. Giolito or Misiorowski, who do you trust rest of season?
Man, that's actually a tough one. I'd probably go Misiorowski. I don't know. You say you trust Giolito, and I trust him more for sure, but I don't know that
I'm
I
not
have
saying full trust. I just think he's
full
more
trust
trustworthy than where he was at.
where he was at for sure. But I don't know if that means he's just set it and forget it necessarily. For me, he's pretty close to that. But I think the talent level of Misiorowski, I think I'd have to go his way. I'd feel really stupid if I dropped Misiorowski. Whereas if I dropped Giolito, it'd be like, okay, yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not advocating you drop Misiorowski for it's like one or the other of one of these guys, but also like Giolito, the 3.5 ERA, it's been something like ever since he found that fix in the fastball, he's just had some really great results. And it was right around June because he had a high 4 ERA in April and May, and then bam, June 3.04, July 3.41, August 2.56. I mean, it is 3 months of crazy good ball. But to your point, he's got a 4.98 expected ERA. So that's like a run and a half higher than where he's currently at. He's getting away with a lot of stuff, but at some point the expected numbers mean a little bit less. He's pretty close to set it and forget it. Willson Contreras has received a six game suspension for the absolute crash out he was having the other day, but he's appealed on it. So it looks like until the appeal gets all figured out, which, it'll probably will go 5 or something like that, then he'll serve those games. But this was the Monday thing, and I don't know. I expect in a day or two this should probably be figured out. So you're going to have to probably make a catcher move. Luckily, it's been pretty deep. Also in the transaction market, Ken Rosenthal reported yesterday that the Guardians have placed first baseman Carlos Santana on the wire. Interesting if he gets a new home. He's had like only deep league relevance if it's really bad. It's really not relevant, by the way, but it's just like, if it's a big deep league and you're desperate. But what is more important is this paves the way for Kyle Manzardo and I think CJ Kayfus to just not deal in any weird rotational stuff or have any potential time taken away. Manzardo's had a really kind of slick season where he's only hitting 230, but the guy might be pacing out to closing in on 30 homers this year. There's some profile stuff that I like. So I don't hate Manzardo for the rest of the way. And I kind of think he's a nice dynasty buy right now.
yeah, I like Manzardo. I mean, in April, I thought Manzardo was having like a monster breakout year. But Cleveland as a whole, like he has 21 homers and he has scored 37 times. That lineup has just been a bit, it's hard to even believe when you see that. The lineup is just awful. But I hope that, he is able to kind of bounce back a little bit next season. Because, I mean, he had a good year, but, like, let's be honest, like, the mid-months of the season were pretty lean. Like, it was tough to be starting him June, July, August. Like, he started well. He's turned things around a little bit recently, but May he hit 200 with 2 homers. June he hit 3 homers, 254. August he hit 209. I'm hoping for a little bit more consistency from him next year.
Yeah, and that's what I want is just regular playing time. I want him to just be out there and get to the adjustments. And I think he's gonna be one of those guys where you're looking for those really deep league breakouts. The Tyler Soderstrom type of breakout. I think that could be Manzardo. The problem is like, is it going to be a breakout when he's going to finish here with 25 homers? It's just going to be like, can he start finding some consistency with the bat? So a couple questions we'll answer from you guys. What do you guys got out there? Muscle Hamster, I dropped Vaughn for Ben Rice at my DH spot. Did I swing and miss on this?
No, you did the right thing. Vaughn is starting to cool off. Ben Rice, I've been obsessed with Ben Rice, especially recently. He's actually started to turn things around. The data has been good all year, but now we're seeing the results, catcher eligibility. You made the right call.
Yeah, 100% think you made the right call. I mean, another one of those guys into next year, like Ben Rice with the catcher eligibility, like having this long discussion. I think you and I might have been, or me and Bubba were having it in the last episode. I've been having it with Bogman about, the price of what Cal Raleigh's going to have next year. I'm coming around on it a bit more where I don't think it's like dumb. I'm still just not going to pay it. Like, I love that he's going to have like his full workload, all the games. He DHs when he doesn't catch. His batting average is kind of tanking though. And it's like, he might not make it out of like pick 15 at this point in Cal Raleigh. Then you're going to move back some steps. And it's like, it's not Cal Raleigh, but 4th or 5th round Shea Langoliers looks nice. My point is, once you start dragging down the line, you're going to find all these catchers that, yes, Cal Raleigh has a value above the rest at the position, but it's like tight end in fantasy football. It's literally the same thing. It's like Cal is your Brock Bowers, but you might have a Tucker Kraft. Football people get this. much later in your draft in guys like maybe it's Ben Rice, but maybe more like Ivan Herrera and stuff like that. Like, I just think there's going to be so much depth at the catcher position of like decent value players, and Ben Rice is going to be one of them, assuming you think he's going to bounce back.
Yeah, catcher is becoming one of my favorite positions. I mean, I was talking about this with Paul and Justin over the last week. First base and catcher too, because first base, you'd be surprised how deep it is. But catcher, my God. Like, even if you don't get one of those top 10 targets, you're still probably looking at like, a Drake Baldwin or maybe Logan O'Hoppe on a buyback. Moreno is going to be like non-existent in terms of his price next year. Edgar Caro, Tyler Stevenson, Adley Rutschman might not even be a top 150 pick. And then you got the Contrerases, although Willson won't have catcher eligibility, Shea Langoliers, Will Smith, Augustine Ramirez, Rice, Diaz, Kirk. It is a very deep position all of a sudden. It's never been the case in my lifetime, but it is all of a sudden.
Yeah, and then it's like people are battling with like, should I, take Julio Rodriguez or Cal Raleigh? Like, that's the weird thing, and it's such a stacked position. Shout out to some of the people in the Peanuts and Cracker Jacks. KMV resubbing with Prime. We love those Primes. Let me squanch first-time chatter. Shout out, and Gunda just with the follows, subs, all the things are great. We appreciate you guys here on the Fantasy Pros on the baseball side. A couple more. Let's hit 2. Do you trust Jordan during the fantasy playoffs? My outfield is Soto, Carpenter, Gurriel, and Laureano. I would have to bench one of them. Alvarez returned last night. I believe he was 0 for 2 with 2 walks, if I remember the stat line correctly. So got into some action. There's probably going to be some rest in there. Soto's the like lock in here, but dude, Gurriel has been good as of recent. Do you know that Gurriel is, I think it's 8th or 10th in the NL in RBI? Think of how bad Lourdes was for a period of time. And he's like top 10 in RBI in the NL right now. He's just quietly going to have like a 25 home. He's literally career highs. Like, he is staging out to potential career highs across the board. So he's tough to bench. Laureano could be, but like, I couldn't live with myself if I was like, oh, I have to bench Jordan because I have Ramon Laureano. Like, I'm going to bench Ramon Laureano in this scenario and provide me great depth. The reason you've held on to Jordan Alvarez is because he's going to help with that stretch. So do I trust him? We don't know enough right now, but I know the talent is great. And I hope he's not, suffering from, whatever that's going to be holding him back at this point with back stuff. But I think he's going to be okay. And I'm going to bench Laureano for him. Where are you at?
I understand. I totally understand that. I think considering the depth you have right now and how hot, I mean, Gurriel, I saw it the other night. I think he had 32 RBI in August, like just stupid numbers. And Laureano has been unbelievably good as well. So I think you have the luxury to kind of let Jordan get hot on your bench if you want to. Now, you might miss a home run or something like that, but it also might take a week or so for him to get fully adjusted back to major league pitching, and you might take a 2 for 26 in your lineup this week as he adjusts back. So considering the depth you have, if you were rolling out like Austin Hayes and Brandon Marsh or some nonsense, like, okay, yeah, sure, absolutely. But you have such a strong group that I don't mind benching Jordan for the first couple of days just to see him get right.
I think you mean, does Waldrop go to the bullpen when Sale comes back this weekend? I think that's I guess I hadn't looked back at the rotation.
I mean, over Cal Quantrill, like I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Cal. Yeah, then no. Well, Waldrop should stay in that rotation. Cal should kick rock.
Joey Wentz too. Like, I think Waldrop's earned his spot there.
Yeah, absolutely good call on that. Is Mike Trout droppable? And if this is what he is when he's healthy, what's his outlook for 2026? I mean, that's a good point. The batting average has just never gotten there this entire season. But, there are some still loudish counting stats. If you were to try to play, projection numbers and just roll it over, I mean, he's still a 30+ home run hitter. He just doesn't steal a lot of bases. He doesn't have like a lot of run support around him. Batting average kind of stinks, but he's almost a 250 expected guy. So just want to throw that out, but the strikeouts have gotten worse. I think his outlook is similar to what it was this past year, except now he's a little bit healthier. I think there's the potential that, he could crack the top 100 in that, but I think he's between like 75 and 125 because of the power potential, but the batting average looks a little bit lost. Is he droppable? I'm probably not. I bet whoever you have on the bench is not better unless it's an 8 team or maybe a 10 team league. So I'm going to say he's not droppable unless there's some really good options. And I think he's like a top-ish 100 player next year.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where I'm going to come out on him.
Ish.
To date in 2025, he's the 67th ranked outfielder, which is kind of a startling number to see, but he's striking out so much. 31% strikeout rate.
Yeah, it's
There's no
crazy.
speed. The runs in RBI aren't terrible, but 56 and 52, he's just kind of unexceptional. He's just kind of, I never thought I would get to this point, but Mike Trout's kind of boring. If he's not going to hit for average, he's not in a good lineup, he's not going to steal, then he's just kind of a whatever kind of guy.
Jag, just another guy.
Just a jag, and you'll see him in the 130, 140, 150 range of the draft, and maybe you take him if you need an outfielder. But I don't see him there like I did the last couple of years and think we might get a vintage Trout season. Like at this point, 34 with his struggles, I just don't think we're getting another MVP caliber Trout season.
Yeah, and I might be overselling it. Maybe it's closer to 150. I mean, it's like he's a 30 home run guy with. I think we know what the potential is.
Joe Adele. He's Joe Adele.
Yeah. I mean, in that general, there's like a comp that's on the tip of my tongue that I'm not getting to, but like it's the general vicinity. So probably closer to 150. He's a draftable player, I guess. If maybe that's more what you're getting at. All right, let's pick it back up. Rookie Lookie, Colson Montgomery. Remember Colson Montgomery in Power, Orrico? Well, he had his 14th homer of the season. I believe it was like 4 straight or something. Colson Montgomery. Yeah. He has a Mike Trout in him. He struggles from the batting average department. Power is not an issue. There was this cool story about, I guess, Colson Montgomery hit a homer in every game against the Twins. Byron Buxton was so impressed. Byron Buxton asked for an autograph card of him, and Montgomery was like, absolutely, but you got to give me an autograph bat. And or give me a bat or something. And Buxton autographed his bat and was like, you're so much fun to watch, blah, blah, blah. Montgomery's getting the attention of a lot of big guys. I told you, man, like regardless of whatever you want to look at in the minor league stuff, power is not a question. And him getting to it, he's kind of doing a little bit of like the Cal Raleigh thing where Cal in the second half has 30 total hits, but 12 of them are homers. So it's like when on impact, it's flying. That's what Colson's doing right now. So do you feel a little bit better about the power projections moving forward into next year for Colson?
I think I do. Yeah. Like I'll be honest. I was not right about the power for this year. I thought, okay, it's a hot streak. It's a hot couple weeks, which it was. And then he cooled down, but now I think it's 4 straight games with a home run again. So maybe there is some streakiness in him. Maybe I sold him a little bit short on the power. I think what I was looking at before was just, okay, 130 games last year, he hit 18 homers in the minors. He had an 81 WRC plus, and he struck out 30% of the time. So I don't know. I was looking too much into the minor league numbers. You've gotten the live looks, which I think it's kind of an important point to make. Like, you need kind of a mix of those things. Everybody can look at Fangraphs pages, but Welsh has boots on the ground out there. We're seeing things that don't show up necessarily on the Fangraphs pages, and I'll give you that one. I'll tip my cap to you there.
Also, just to point out, like injuries, like that's the thing that also gets forgotten about. He's been riddled. He had a wrist injury that carried into the season and carried into the second year. It's the same thing about like, I think it's going to happen with Chase DeLauder when he ends up coming up in some, in 2042 when he's finally healthy. Like he has been perpetually hurt. And you're going to look at numbers and you're going to just be like, oh, I don't know. And it's just like, nah, he's just been riddled with injuries. If he can stay healthy, there's massive talent there. And that's kind of what Colson Montgomery is. Also massive talent at the major league level. Jacob Marcy still going 2 for 4, had a couple singles and an RBI against the Braves yesterday and just continues to roll. I mean, we might be having a Marcy or Mike Trout conversation next year in drafts. Who are you going to want?
Marcy. Give me Marcy 100%.
Without question already?
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
Maybe I'm putting the cart before the horse, but I'm in love with this kid.
I don't think you're like too far off, but like, I think it's a little bit more discussion needs to be had. Like he needs to finish out this next month. If he finishes the month out where he's been, look out for what the draft stock is going to be. It's just crazy. By the way, shout out to Muscle Hamster gifting out community subs and cheering. Again, these are things that help with it. Who dat cheered a couple bits with a question. Did I miss that one? We always want to point those out. Who dat looking to start 3 of these pitchers. Who do I go with? Joey Wynn, Slade Ciccone, Aaron Savale, and Taiwan Walker. I would go Ciccone, Savale, and Walker. I'm kicking Wentz out.
Yeah, I agree. Ideally, there's some better options around, but given the options, I think you're right.
Yeah, clearly they don't seem to be any good options. All right, 3 up and 3 down. On the up, Ozzie Albies, 3 for 5, 2 homers and 4 RBI, picking it back up a little bit. George Springer, 3 for 4 with 2 homers and 3 runs. I feel like George Springer has a great day every time you and I are getting to do a show and you do this 3 up and 3 down sheet. You put him on here because he has these big days.
I mean, last time it was a combo meal. Yesterday, 2 homers. He's having an amazing season. George Springer, I don't think we talked about him enough this year. At age 35 to do what he's done, like, he's been unbelievable.
Ooh, Springer or Trout? It's going to be Springer.
I think it's Springer, yeah. Ideally, I don't really like either at their age heading into next year, but I think Springer's been a god. He's going to get MVP votes. He's been great. Not first place, but he'll get like.
I mean, if the writer's name is Schmorico, then maybe he'll get some MVP votes. But he's not going to get any MVP votes from anybody else in that. You really think he's going to get a single MVP vote with Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge out there?
Not first place votes, but when you look at Baseball Reference, it'll say like MVP 9 or something next to his 2025 season.
Okay, yeah, okay. I mean, yeah. I guess all right.
That's what I meant. I'm not saying he's going to get first. No.
Schmorico with a number 1 on George Springer. Who is this guy? This is a crazy vote. Also, Lucas Giolito, as we mentioned, scoreless innings, 8 strikeouts. On the down, Brandon Pfaadt stinks, 2 2/3, 6 earned runs, 8 hits against the Brewers. Yusei Kikuchi allowed 6 earned runs against the Rangers, and JT Realmuto was 1 strike away from a Cinco Stinko. We were so close. 0-5, Golden Sombrero, 4 strikeouts in there. Would have been so awesome for my last show of the season to have been a Cinco Stinko. Would have been great. Injuries, we talked about Eovaldi. Luis Robert had to leave early on Tuesday due to a left hamstring issue, some soreness there. And by the way, a lot of interesting talk about like I think the White Sox like picking up an option on him and him being a White Sox again next year. It never ends. And probably could have been a reason why, like, I didn't even realize there was like some option they could pick up. But maybe one of the reasons why they didn't trade him so they could bring him back. Randy Rodriguez placed on the 15-day IL with an elbow sprain. Ryan Walker, come on down. You are going to get the saves for the foreseeable future. And I don't know, if this is a little bit continued, Ryan Walker might have the saves the rest of the way through for the Giants. So this might be a gift for people, Joe.
It's all circular, right? We started the year thinking it was going to be Walker and then bounces around. The guy who has Walker in my home league completely zoned out. I had Rodriguez. I'm thinking, okay, I'll go pick up Walker. He's held him the whole year. But if you can find him, go pick him up.
He's just zoned out. Atlanta Rout was going to miss the rest of the season with a bone bruise in his knee. Jacob Lopez, left elbow flexor strain that is expected to end his season after getting obliterated the other night. Tyler Stevenson is expected to return from the IL early September. Jake Myers is going to have a rehab assignment and join the Astros as soon as this weekend. Parker Meadows is going to begin a rehab assignment as he's recovering from a right quad strain. And Jordan Romano is placed on the 15-day IL with right middle finger inflammation, probably from having to tell the fans that they're number 1 after getting blown up the other day, too. We know why his middle finger hurts so bad. So those are your injuries. Now let's look at some bets. Our best bets for the day here on Wednesday. We got some bets for you. Joe, what do you got for the people?
So I am getting us started off today with Vinny Pasquantino over 1.5 total bases. He has been like walking on fire recently. He's facing Aaron Savali, and I'm getting this one at plus money. And by the way, a lot of these are courtesy of the FantasyPros or Betting Pros prop bet cheat sheet. Definitely giving me some help over there. A couple of Drew Rasmussen bets today. Over 4.5 strikeouts. I know the line is a little bit juiced at minus 140. I'm just taking the money there. You get the nice plus money play to start, and then this one feels a little bit easier to get for Drew Rasmussen as he's taking on the lowly Cleveland offense, which is just no good. And then this one also from Betting Pros, over 15.5 outs. Doesn't seem like we're asking a ton of the Drew Rasmussen here. Even money. I like it. If you want to pair that with the strikeouts, get yourself a better line. I'm all for it.
Yeah, 5 2/3 is what you're asking for, essentially, for Rasmussen to get there. I don't hate that at all. I'm going to be backing your Toronto Blue Jays first 5 run line. So the run line means they are going to be up by a run through the first 5 innings. Eric Lauer in that rotation again. It's an Eric Lauer day, so we are backing him. Blue Jays to be up by a run. Love that. Detroit, I'm playing the full money line for Detroit at minus 126. And have a theme, but we're going Schwarbies. Now, Schwarbies does have Nolan McLean, who's got some crazy spin numbers, but you're getting big plus money on Schwarber total bases, plus 135 for him to have 2 total bases. So I'm going to be backing Schwarbs on the total bases. Give me a first 5 run line and a full game run line on the Detroit Tigers. And guess what? If you guys want to do more, as Joe said, go over, check out Betting Pros, download the app today. You can peruse around and you can get 7 days free premium access to Betting Pros by using the code Leading Off. That'll give you access to all the tools. You can see all the bets in the prop cheat sheet. You can go and you can do the analysis of, what are the trends over the last 5 games, 10 days, really all of it. Go and do it for yourself. Find all the fun stuff. Use the promo code Leading Off. Get locked in with Betting Pros Premium, full week of free for 7 days. Let's go look at the home run board. My final home run board of the year. Positive Grouch still got that lead. We got 3 people with 50. Positive Grouch at 54. BZ at 51. Whips at 50. That's the big count. Wonky is up here at 41. I've been told Joe is not far off the board, which means, I'm probably a little bit further down. I know Joe has got in perpetuity of Cal Raleigh. I will be playing it in perpetuity for the foreseeable future because I will not be here and, barring anything crazy. So give me Schwarbs. Schwarby is going to be, hey, there's the chat. Schwarby is going to be my bet for the rest of the way through and for today. Give me him rest of season for a Schwarber fest. Mr. Joe Rico, what do you got?
You got a decent chance to catch up with him, I think, with Kyle Schwarber. I'm going Bo Bichette today, not beating the homer allegations on this fine Wednesday. He's been amazing. Bo Bichette over the last month is hitting almost 400. He's facing Simeon Woods Richardson today, who does allow just about a home run per start. He's about 1.4 homer per 9. So give me Bo Bichette to take him yard today.
I like that. I'm a little too far off from Joe, so I don't think the way that it'll get me there is if Schwarber leads the league in homers, was my kind of guess and bet. With Cal Raleigh struggling a little bit, maybe that's a possibility. We'll see. I'm trying to get over 30. That's my big marker. Joe has been doing very well with Cal Raleigh, and you guys have been doing awesome. Just a reminder, you guys can be locked in with that with the Discord next season if you want to play along. But also, if you have a sub on our Twitch, that can get you guys hooked up to being able to do the home run contest. So whichever you want to do, if you're not a Discord person and you don't want to take advantage of it, grab a sub here and you will be locked in. That will be a whole bunch of fun here. What does this just give Orrico props? The Friday solo rapid fire show was awesome. Oh, yeah. I know. We had that internet issue with Bubba. You rocked the solo show and got a lot of love, Orrico. You did a good job.
Thank you. It was fun, man. This back when I first started doing this, I used to do solo shows every day. And I, hadn't scratched that itch in a while, but after the first, stumbling out of the starting blocks for the first couple of minutes, you start to get in the rhythm of things. But the chat was great. You guys were awesome, sticking around, filling up with the questions, and the comments were very nice. So I appreciate all the love.
Well, and make sure that you're hanging here. I have a little piece of Pia in me in that I am asked to move over into the football for the last month. So I kind of have to say goodbye, which is a very sad thing. But Orrico is going to crush it the rest of the way through. Like I said, we got Bubba in here. You can announce it next week or even on the Friday show, whatever you want, that you got kind of a fill-in or multiple fill-ins on the Monday shows. But we still got Monday, Wednesday, Friday through the rest of the season to get you into your fantasy baseball championships. Thank you guys all for hanging with me all season long. This is season 4 or 5 because, I've been working here almost 2 years full-time at Fantasy Pros, but I was here a couple years before that. So I want to say this is leading off season, at least season 4 for me. And I love it. And I love hanging with you guys. And you guys have made us feel so special by growing the channel. I will be back on the final show, the very final one of the season. We'll probably get Pizza Pia back as well because I got some fun surprises. So make sure you're locked in, tuned in, and we're going to have tons of off-season content. I know it's not we got a full month, but I just want everybody to know I will be back with full-on off-season content. So thank you guys very, very much. I love you all. Joe Rico is going to take you home and rocking on leading off, not leading in. What a ridiculous open to the show I've had, but it's a ridiculous day. Peanuts and Cracker Jack, stay good, win your championships. Shout out to Seth and Callie. We're out of here. Goodbye. Enjoy leading off on Friday. Peace out.
Been a blast, my friend. Until we start doing preseason 2026 content, that'll be the next show we do together.
I'm already ready.
I'm already here for it.